All right, let's get right into it. I mean, we hear the term AI thrown around everywhere, right? So many of us are using it every single day. But the line between the AI we have right now and the AI that's just around the corner, well, that's one of the most important and honestly least understood distinctions of our time.
So, chances are you've messed around with AI. Maybe you've asked a chatbot a question or had it generate an image for you. But you gotta understand, that's just the opening act. The real question is, are you ready for what comes next? Because the leap we're about to talk about isn't just a simple upgrade, it's a whole different ballgame, a fundamental shift in what intelligence even means.
To get a handle on where we're going, we first got to understand where we are right now. So let's break down the AI we're all familiar with, generative AI. And at its core, you can think of it as an incredibly sophisticated but ultimately limited pattern machine. So what is it, really? Well, a generative AI is a system that's been trained on a massive, but, and this is key, static library of information. We're talking books, articles, code, images, the whole shebang. It just gets so good at learning the patterns and all that data that it can spit out brand new content that looks like it came straight from that library.
And to give you a sense of scale, just get this. One of the leading models was trained on 45 terabytes of text. That's a mind-boggling amount of data. But here's the catch. That's still only about 4% of the public web. Its entire world is limited to just that slice of information it was shown.
Now all that studying pays off. It can score an impressive 78% on a massive knowledge test, which shows it knows a lot of stuff. But that's kind of like acing a test through sheer memorization. The moment you ask it to use real causal reasoning to truly understand why things happen in a sequence, it starts to fall apart. It's a world-class pattern matcher, not a true thinker.
And this is maybe the most important thing to remember about today's AI. These systems are not learning on their own, not even close. They're constantly being managed by people. Engineers are doing fine-tunes every week, and every couple of weeks, humans have to step in and make major fixes. It's a continuous cycle of human intervention, not some kind of independent intelligence.
Okay, so that's the AI of today, the pattern machine. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the AI of tomorrow. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. And I really want to be crystal clear on this. This is not just a better version of what we have. It is a completely fundamentally different kind of intelligence.
And wow, this slide right here, it just lays it all out. We just talked about generative AI needing those weekly, human-driven fixes. The goal for AGI? Continuous self-learning, updating its own model of the world every single millisecond with no human in the loop. The gap between those two is just immense.
So AGI is this theoretical AI that isn't specialized. Its whole defining feature is its ability to understand, learn, and then apply that intelligence to solve any problem a human can. We're talking about everything from tying shoelaces to composing a symphony to coming up with a new theory in physics. That's what the general in general intelligence is all about.
Now, check out how they learn. An AGI is designed to learn like we do, through a continuous stream of new experiences. The target here is for it to process about 25 gigabytes of new sensory data every single day. It's a constant, lifelong flow. It's the difference between reading a textbook once and actually living a life.
And this is just mind-blowing. Training a big model today takes about 1.3 million kilowatt hours of electricity. That's enough to power over 1,000 homes for a year. The target for an operational AGI? Just 20 watts. 20. That is the same power consumption as the human brain. We're talking about a leap in efficiency that is almost unbelievable. And all that efficiency leads to the real superpower, generalization. The goal for AGI is 98% reliability on tasks it has never seen before. Just imagine that. You could drop it into a completely new situation and it would figure out what to do, almost perfectly, on its very first try.
Okay, so pattern machine versus learning agent. It might sound a little technical, but why should you care? Well, because the leap from one to the other has the potential to fundamentally reshape our entire world. The stakes, and I mean this, could not be higher.
Let's start with the here and now. Just by making writers more productive, the AI we have today is already adding an estimated $4 billion to the US GDP. Annually. That's the kind of power we're already seeing from the pattern machine.
Okay, but now imagine what a true learning agent could do. Projections suggest AGI could automate tasks that would affect 300 million jobs all around the world. The scale of that economic transformation is almost hard to wrap your head around.
And this is where the conversation gets really, really serious. Beyond the economy, there are huge questions of safety and control. A recent survey of top AI experts found their median estimate for a poorly aligned AGI causing an existential catastrophe was 6%. Now, that might sound like a small number, but when the risk is that big, even a tiny percentage is something researchers are taking very, very seriously.
And that risk completely changes how we think about oversight. For today's AI, oversight is basically human moderators reviewing flagged content. But for AGI, the proposals are on another level. We're talking about independent boards with the absolute authority, 100% shutdown power to pull the plug if an AGI shows any sign of going off the rails. The focus shifts from policing bad content to controlling the system itself.
Right. I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, maybe decades away. But the expert consensus is that the timeline for this transformation could be much, much shorter than most of us realize.
Check this out. A poll of the experts, the people actually building this stuff, put the median probability of AGI emerging before 2035 at 50%. A coin flip, within about a decade. Now, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed, of course, but it means the possibility is real enough that we have to start preparing for it, like, today.
So what do? We can't just sit around and wait. Experts say organizations can start now. Audit how much they depend on computing power, start experimenting with new ways for humans and AI to work together, set up internal review boards focused on safety and alignment, and, maybe most importantly, invest in reskilling their people for a very different future.
So here we are at this truly remarkable moment in history. The AI of today, the pattern machine, is already changing our world. But the transition to a true learning agent, that represents a massive inflection point for all of humanity. The next decade won't just bring us better software, it could fundamentally redefine the meaning of intelligence